Hi, I'm Maya Mackey.
I'm Chloe Sweitzer.
And we're here to host episode 1 of the DMF Capstone Recap podcast, Path to Major. Today we're joined by
Adrienne Offnagel
and Emily Boswell.
How are we doing today, guys? How are we feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, good. Great.
So was it kind of like a surprise? Was it unpredictable for you? Like, did you come into college thinking that this would be like any sort of path that you might take, like digital media or film?
So I think I've always kind of been interested in digital media and kind of had a creative side. But when I got to St. Lawrence, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. Freshman year, I thought I was going to major in psychology. I took one psychology class and I realized that wasn't really the path for me. And so then once I kind of got into the communications line, that kind of expanded me to digital media. So I wasn't really always thinking about majoring in it. But when St. Lawrence started to introduce it and I heard more about it, I thought it seemed interesting. And yeah.
Are you a double major?
Yes.
So you are PCA and DMF?
Yep.
Let's go. Fist bump. Anything that you think people should know about like double majoring or, how PCA and DMF can combine?
Yeah, I think they're really closely related. There's a lot of classes that do count towards both, which is helpful. And I think it's just a great opportunity to kind of like build upon one major and like expand your horizons and kind of different options. Also because communications is such like an open field, like there's a lot of different career paths that you can go down after completing that major. Obviously, like a lot of people do like communications and business, but if you're less on the business side, I think digital media and film is a great way to go as well.
That's true. Like with the communications aspect of it, like speaking from that perspective as well, like there's a lot of ways you can combine like journalism with digital media and film as well, because that's also kind of like documentary film. And, if you're interested in the performance side of PCA, you can also kind of see both sides of like a movie. You can see the actors, the people kind of behind the scenes, as well as, the people on the screen, which is kind of cool. I know we have 2 other double majors here.
Whoever could that be?
Yeah,
Whoever.
I'm not sure.
Do you guys want to talk about your double major experiences?
Yeah, sure. So I am a music and digital media and film double major. And so actually there is some overlap as well with music courses and DMF courses. Actually, my production courses came from my music degree. So when I was going to declare DMF, I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough time to like fill in other classes and stuff, but the overlap between the DMF department and the music department allowed me to do that.
And there's one special professor who's both a part of the music department and the DMF department,
my
right?
DMF advisor, David Henderson.
Shout out David Henderson.
Shout out
David,
Henderson.
yeah.
Yeah, Henderson was great when I was going to declare my major. Like Chloe, actually, I think I did, like officially declared my DMF major in the winter of my junior year. I think that's when I officially declared it. But I was thinking about it during sophomore spring. Because I was in another film class at that time, actually, and the major had just been, like, announced, I think, officially. So I was thinking about the minor, and then it just so happened that the major just sort of lined up with what I wanted to do.
It's pretty flexible, generally. Yeah. What about you, Adri?
So I'm a DMNF and anthropology double major. And I focus in anthropology specifically more in biological anthro, so I don't really have anything to do with the cultural aspects of anthropology, which is what you would probably assume and what many people assume when I say that I'm a double major in both of those things. So I'm more on like the science side of anthro, and there are absolutely 0 classes that intersect between anthropology and DMNF. I'm happy to say that I figured out that I wanted to be an anthro major like first semester freshman year, so I was able to like most of my freshman and sophomore year was taking anthro classes, and now it's just finishing up both majors.
So Maya, you're also PCA and DMNF. Do you want to talk about kind of what your motivation was in declaring a double major?
I decided on DMF first. I took an intro to film class and I loved it. And I kind of wanted to continue down that path, and I just didn't know what to do. And my FYP professor, she was kind of crazy. She left campus and she was my advisor. And so Elun Gabriel, king of the academic advising department, emailed me and said, hey, you desperately need an advisor. I didn't know what to do. So I met with him to talk about it. And he suggested reaching out to Brooke Henkel, who is the co-chair of the DMF department now with Sarah Noble. And so I met with him, and I had never met him before. And I basically was like, hey, do you want to be my advisor? And he was like, yeah, no problem, like without even really knowing me. And he was like, hey, you sound like you might be interested in this new project that, this new major that I kind of have been working on called digital media and film. And he kind of like gave me a rundown of it. And he said, do you think that you would be interested in doing this? And I said, why, yes, of course. And so I was kind of like the first one to declare DMF. And I knew from like right then, sophomore year, that was going to be my primary path. And then later on, I, went down the Uri Kittler pipeline that we all fall victim to at one time or another. And he suggested I pursue journalism and radio journalism.
Do you feel like you've been able to like adapt it towards your like a concentration of choice?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. With my music major, I am more interested in sort of sound design, editing within film. So getting a lot of sort of film analysis classes, and you do focus some on the sound design. So I think to that extent, yeah, it's been sort of guided in that direction, for me at least, yeah.
Yeah, I've had the freedom to kind of explore a lot of different fields. Like, I kind of just was, the way that I looked at it was once I declared, because I love film analysis. Like, that's kind of where my heart lies, is film analysis, film writing, that's kind of like my thing. But I was really happy to get to learn, to get to experience other aspects of communications and media studies and digital media, like, and getting to kind of say that I'm qualified to do those things to some degree now. Like, I technically know how to write for radio. I did an internship at NCPR, and that's a skill that I have now that I'm kind of really grateful that I got the chance to develop.
I'm happy with what I've gotten. I like production. I like editing the most. That's like what I've found the most joy in. And I really like film analysis, and I really like film history and stuff like that, being able to like point out like, oh, this is where this comes from. This is where this comes from. I took a Hollywood genres course last semester. That course was probably one of my favorite classes I've taken. And it was really, especially within horror as a genre, just being able to see like how general history affects filmmaking, and what we watch, what we consume, that kind of stuff was really, really interesting. So just stuff like that, I feel like has lent me to be able to have a broader mindset of how like film works and how just kind of life in general, like media, pop culture, that kind of stuff works, because that stuff's all around us.
Well, I think we've gotten a lot of insight that about wraps up the time we have. If anyone has any final thoughts.
I don't know. Well, it's always possible to double major with the DMF department. Yep. There's time. There's so many classes. There's a variety of classes.
There's so much to do.
Yeah.
And don't stress out if you don't have it figured out right away. Just kind of, the professors will recommend stuff to you. You'll kind of explore on your own. Just let things flow naturally and happen as they happen.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Yeah. Do what you want. It's your major. You can do what you want with it. It's your education.
Yeah.
And you can declare it like earlier than your junior year. So you've got time.
Ride the wave.
Yeah.
Ride the wave.
Okay. Well, this is Maya Mackey.
Chloe Sweitzer.
Adrienne Othnagle.
Emily Boswell.
For the DMF Capstone Recap. And we're signing out. Episode 1.
Great.